Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking the really fascinating microscopic mechanics of how high blood sugar actually impacts the human body. If you're a focused learner looking to truly understand the science behind the medicine, you are in exactly the right place. We're skipping the fluff today because there is some incredibly vital, eye-opening science we need to get through. So let's look closely at the vascular toll of blood sugar. I want you to start by picturing the plumbing in your home. Got it? Now ask yourself, what if you poured thick, sticky syrup down those pipes instead of water? Well, at first, everything might seem perfectly fine, right? The taps still run, the syrup flows, nothing obviously breaks. But what happens over time? That sticky liquid is going to start wearing on the entire system. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening inside your body. Normal blood flow acts like water. It just flows smoothly, and the pipes, meaning your blood vessels, stay perfectly healthy. But when your blood sugar stays way too high for months or years, it acts just like that sticky syrup. It doesn't instantly poison you in a day. Instead, it constantly and quietly injures the blood vessels. And since these vessels supply oxygen and nutrients to literally every single organ, this slow motion clogging weakens the entire bodily system. To understand why this happens, we kind of have to look at normal metabolic mechanics. Every time you eat carbohydrates, whether that's a slice of bread, rice, or an apple, your body breaks them down into glucose. That's your main fuel. Your cells desperately need this to make energy. Insulin is the vital key here. It essentially unlocks the doors of your cells, allowing glucose to leave the bloodstream and get inside, where it can go to work. But in diabetes, either your body doesn't make enough of these keys, or the locks just get jammed. The cells stop responding. The result? The glucose gets locked out and dangerously builds up in the bloodstream. When that happens, the physical reality is pretty jarring. Imagine thousands of tiny sugar crystals just constantly flowing through your circulation. When insulin is lacking or ignored, that excess glucose actually turns abrasive. It's not just floating gently along. Over months and years, these microscopic crystals begin scraping and damaging the endothelium. That's the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. And blood vessels aren't just inert tubes. They're living tissue that regulates blood flow, clotting, and inflammation. Section 1. The microdamage. How high blood sugar aggressively attacks the smallest vessels first. In a highly sensitive organ like the eye, this microdamage is just devastating. The retina contains thousands of microscopic blood vessels. First, the high glucose weakens the vessel walls. Then, tiny bulges start to form. Next, small hemorrhages develop, literally leaking fluid. In a desperate attempt to get oxygen, the eye tries to grow fragile new vessels, but these bleed easily and create scar tissue. The truly terrifying part? This happens completely silently. It's one of the leading causes of preventable blindness, yet early stages often have absolutely no symptoms. You have no idea it's happening until the microscopic damage is already severe. Tingling, burning, pins and needles, numbness. These are incredibly jarring sensory symptoms that point directly to nerve death. So why does this happen? Well, because your nerves depend on microscopic blood vessels called the vasa nervorum to feed them oxygen and nutrients. When high glucose starves and damages these tiny feeder vessels, the nerves slowly die. And because the longest nerves in your body reach all the way down to your feet, these symptoms almost always start in the toes before slowly, mercilessly creeping upward. It is literally that syrup we talked about starving your body's electrical wiring. We see the exact same microvascular destruction in the kidneys. Healthy kidneys boast about 1 million microscopic filtering units called nephrons, functioning perfectly around the clock. Each nephron contains a really delicate cluster of tiny blood vessels called a glomerulus. But high blood sugar forces these tiny filters into constant overdrive. Eventually, the pressure is just too much. The overworked filters break down and start leaking vital protein into the urine. This leads to a relentless, gradual decline in kidney function. Section 2. The macro damage to the heart, brain, and healing. How microscopic issues escalate into systemic emergencies. Now, what's really interesting about this is that to heal from even a simple scratch, your body fundamentally requires 4 things: good blood flow, healthy immune cells, oxygen, and nutrients. Uncontrolled blood sugar essentially shuts down all 4 of these elements. It restricts oxygen delivery, it stops white blood cells from fighting bacteria, it halts collagen production, and it prolongs inflammation. Combine this with the numbness in the feet we just discussed, and you have a perfect storm. Someone might step on a tack, not feel it, and because they lack these 4 healing elements, that unnoticed little cut can become dangerously, sometimes irreparably infected. So, here is the absolute crucial point. Diabetes is a disease of the blood vessels. We really need to shift our fundamental understanding here. The general public often thinks of this purely as a sugar problem, but it is fundamentally a vascular disease. That abrasive, syrupy glucose accelerates atherosclerosis, the dangerous buildup of rigid, fatty plaques inside your major arteries. When those larger pipes get clogged, the stakes become life or death. Clogged arteries in the heart lead directly to heart attacks, and clogged arteries in the brain lead directly to strokes. When we connect the dots, it becomes incredibly clear why people dealing with unmanaged diabetes face a drastically higher risk of severe cardiovascular disease. The entire plumbing infrastructure is compromised everywhere. Section 3. Taking back control. Let's look at solutions and prevention. 10 to 20 minutes. That is all the time you need for a gentle walk after meals. It's almost shockingly simple, but the science behind it is brilliant. When you walk, your contracting muscles desperately need energy. And here's the cool part. They're actually able to absorb glucose directly from your bloodstream without relying heavily on insulin. Just a simple 10 to 20-minute stroll after eating pulls that sugar right out of your blood and into your muscle cells, drastically reducing the spike and saving your blood vessels from that abrasive syrup effect. I want to reassure you, the true goal here is lowering the overall burden over years, not getting caught in the stressful trap of chasing perfect daily numbers on a meter. Prevention is absolutely a long game. You win this game not by agonizing over every single daily reading, but through consistent, broader lifestyle choices. Healthy eating, getting enough sleep, completely avoiding smoking. These are the habits that protect your pipes over the decades. And because this vascular damage happens quietly, long before symptoms ever appear, routine screenings are your early warning radar. Regular eye exams can spot those tiny retina bulges before your vision actually changes. Kidney function tests detect microscopic protein leaks. Routine foot checks catch the cuts you simply might not feel. These checks aren't just, administrative chores. They are critical interventions designed to catch the syrup damage before it breaks the pipes. Which brings us to a highly critical question I want to leave you with today. Are you protecting the organs that keep you healthy? Ultimately, managing your blood sugar is not about passing a daily test for your doctor. It's about preserving your body's vital plumbing. It's about ensuring your eyes, your heart, your brain, and your nerves have the clean, smooth-flowing circulation they need to keep you thriving. You have the structural knowledge now, and you have the tools to take control. Ensure your pipes are running clear.